Today is Monday, June 7th, 2021. I woke up fairly tired today, but I did get some sleep, but still tired. And it wasn't very long into the day that I went into my doctor's appointment. Pretty early, I got ready for that and did end up going to see my doctor and had a full course of treatments. The PEMF, we decided it was best, given my difficulties of swallowing, to move it up and have the contact accessories on opposite sides of my throat. So we tried that today. And then we also had another pad that was right on my chest in the area where I've been told the tumor resides, which it's very curious to me. When I swallow, I feel pain right here, and I feel that everything gets stuck here. But according to the scans, this is where the tumor is. So I'm not sure why that is. There's a possibility that it is referred pain. The other possibility that I'm rejecting is that something has spread and that there's something else that's here now, which I'm just not receiving that. I'm not receiving that. So I'm holding fast that all is going well. The treatment went really well, and I'm so grateful that I was introduced to this pastor who originally came from Africa and now lives in the United States. And he is not a pastor, but rather a priest. I'm trying to remember what his technical title is. I'm not as familiar with the titles in the Catholic Church, but he serves the Lord and loves the Lord. And when he walks in the door, the place lights up. He has one of those unique personalities that causes a room to light up. And he stood out to me right away as someone that I immediately thought to myself, here's a man who knows God. And I was right. So after my treatment, I had to run some brief errands, but I came home and found something just heartwarming in the mail, which I'm going to share with you. A couple that came to visit us with their daughters, maybe it's been a couple of months now, sent a letter to us. And to me, the girls painted some artwork for me. So here is their artwork featured today. And it says thank you. And there's another one. And here's the other piece of art. I can't actually make out what it says. It almost looks as if it says Isaiah. I believe it says Isaiah. But in the back it says, "We are praying for you, Uncle Michael." We are praying for you, Uncle Michael, with a big heart and the word love in their names. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that beautiful? And for that reason, I'm drawn to a specific verse right now that I want to share with you from Psalm chapter 139, verses 13 and 14. And this is a verse for these precious girls and for any kids to remember. Psalm 139, verses 13 and 14. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very, very well. My soul knows it very well. Isn't that amazing? So, if the kids are watching right now, my words to you are this. Remember that when it says here that you formed my inward parts, you knit me together in my mother's womb, the psalmist is talking to God in appreciation about just how delicately, carefully, and beautifully he made you. That's how much time and attention he took. Little by little, he shaped you into the precious boy, the precious girl that you are. God doesn't make junk. God doesn't make mistakes. He makes works of art that are to be displayed before the entire world and to shine beautifully in the world, as beautiful art does. The reaction then from the psalmist, and your reaction and mine, should be the following: I praise you. I praise you, God. Thank you, God, for taking time to make me special. Thank you, God, for taking care to make me unique. Thank you, God, for your creativity in how you knit me and formed me in my mother's womb. You cared enough to do a great job when you made me. That is what your response should be, young lady, young man, before God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And the psalmist continues and says, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That means when people look at you, they should look at you with awe. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, you should stop and gasp, wow. Just as you would when you go to a museum and you see this beautiful sculpture or this beautiful tapestry or this beautiful work of art by Picasso or by Michelangelo, and you stop and your jaw drops and your eyes get wide open and you say, wow. That is what your reaction should be when you look in the mirror. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And guess what? You are. And you know what? Mr. Clutch wants to visit. He's over here right now visiting. He sees me and he wants to visit. And you agree, Mr. Clutch, don't you? That those young men and those young women that are watching, they are fearfully and wonderfully made. You know why? Because they're made in the image of God. They're God's creation. Wonderful are your works, he concludes. Wonderful are your works. There's never a reason for us to look in the mirror and say, man, God, I don't like what you made. We do that. We do that. We look in the mirror at times with dissatisfaction. And if you haven't yet, there's the possibility you might when you get older and your body starts to change. But I want you to remember this. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And the more you know God, the more your soul will know that well. So know God, and you'll never forget that you are his creation. And when you accept his son, you are his adopted daughter, his adopted son. You are a child of God. And heaven is your home. And God made something amazing when he made you. I am in awe of what he made when he made you. So young ladies, young men, God's favor is upon you. His design is breathtaking. Enjoy that. Look in the mirror today. Look in the mirror today. Would you please? And stop and say, thank you, God. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, because you are.